New at 5 tonight, the Sandy Springs Police Department showing its support for breast cancer survivors and loved ones lost to the disease. You might notice them wearing custom pink badges this month. Joe Ripley spoke with a couple of those officers donning the badge for a special reason.
Hey, good evening. Officers could buy those badges for just over $100. 10% of the proceeds from those badges go to the National Breast Cancer Foundation. Earlier, I spoke with two officers who told me about their ties to the disease and how it's impacted them personally and professionally. Officer James Graham joined the Sandy Springs Police Department in 2006. He felt the calling as a teenager, but nothing could have prepared him for the call that his wife was diagnosed with breast cancer.
Didn't think much of it because people beat it, so we figured we'd get ready for the fight. But she had a bad one, so she had about 5 years of fighting before we lost her.
Tiffany Graham was first diagnosed when she was 35 years old. There's now a high likelihood her daughter could also get breast cancer.
On the streets and stuff, I always could take care of that. I never had an issue. I didn't think this would come up. It wouldn't happen to me kind of thing. And then when it did, and I was so helpless, it just threw me on the back of my heels.
Officer Brian Crisp carries on even after losing his grandmother to cancer. His aunt was also diagnosed with the disease.
It's good to have family support when you're going through situations like this, and hopefully they can beat it.
Crisp, Graham, and nearly 40 other Sandy Springs police officers bought custom pink police badges marking their support for survivors and celebrating lost loved ones. 11 Alive medical correspondent Dr. Sujatha Reddy says about 300,000 people will be diagnosed with breast cancer this year nationwide. She urges people to research their family history and learn more about the disease that she says impacts everyone in some way.
To get that yearly mammogram, that has helped us diagnose breast cancer at an earlier stage. And we do best treating all cancers if we find it quickly and at an earlier stage than obviously at a later stage where it's much harder to treat.
Everybody's going to suffer through it. It's just, we're not exempt.
And coming up at 6, I'm going to have more on how these officers are honoring their loved ones lost to breast cancer. And we'll share some of the risk factors for the disease, the ones you can and can't control.